So we are going to discuss 60 transporting point. And for the 60 transporting point, we are choosing 12 main meridian. हमारे शरीर में बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स होते हैं. But now what we'll do, from each meridian, we will be choosing 5 points. हम हर एक मेरिडियन में से 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. In this way, we are going to select the 5 point. So we are having total 12 meridian, and from the each meridian, we are going to select the 5 point. In this way, we will be selecting the 60 points. They are called 60 transporting points. So how to select the 5 points? आखिर हम ये 5 point कैसे select करें? The 5 point selection will be done as per the quality of the point, characteristic of the point. Suppose this is the lung family. ये lung की family है. In the lung family, the one point having characteristic of the wood, the second point is having characteristic of the fire, the third point is having characteristic of the earth element, and the fourth point is having characteristic of metal element, and the fifth is having characteristic of the water element. So in the lung family, we will choose the 5 point having different quality, different characteristic. तो हम लंग की फैमिली में ऐसे 5 बिंदुओं का चयन करेंगे जिनके अंदर अलग अलग प्रकार के गुण हैं. जैसे एक के अंदर वुड के लक्षण हैं, दूसरे पॉइंट के अंदर फायर के लक्षण हैं, तीसरे पॉइंट के अंदर अर्थ के लक्षण हैं, चौथे पॉइंट के अंदर मेटल के लक्षण हैं, और पांचवें पॉइंट के अंदर वाटर के लक्षण है. उन्हें हम सिलेक्ट करेंगे, बाकी को छोड़ देंगे. वी विल not select other point, we will just select the 5 point in the lung meridian. Right? So suppose this is the lung house. This is the lung house. Now we have selected 5 points. Suppose this is the wood point. Wood means air. Okay, what is the meaning of wood? The meaning of wood is air. The second point, we have selected the fire point. The fire, we know fire means something like a heat. Fire got the heat. Ushnata, garmi. Then third point, we are selecting having earth quality, earth characteristic. तीसरा पॉइंट हम ऐसा चूज करेंगे जिसके अंदर अर्थ के गुण हैं. Means dampness, the having quality of the dampness, having quality of the humidity. And the fourth and fifth point will be selecting in the way having metal and water characteristic. Means dryness and coolness. So it is very helpful. Why it is helpful? कि अब आपको अगर हवा की जरूरत है तो आप इस पॉइंट को एक्टिवेट कर दोगे. इफ यू नीड एयर, यू विल एक्टिवेट वुड पॉइंट. इफ यू नीड फायर, you will activate this point. And if you want to reduce the fire, you can set it this point. You want to increase the earth, you can tonify this point. You want to decrease the earth, you can set it this point. You want to increase the coolness, you can tonify this point. You want to decrease the coolness, you can set it this point. So now आप ये समझिए कि आप एक घर में बैठे हुए हैं, उस घर में एसी चला दिया तो ठंडा हो गया, हीटर चला दिया तो गर्म हो गया, पंखा चला दिया तो हवा चालू हो गई. So with the help of fan, you can start wind. With the help of heater, you can increase the temperature of the room. With the help of water point, you can reduce the heat and bring the coolness in the room, air conditioning of the room. So we have one point which is having the different characteristic, so that patient is coming to us with some problem, we will diagnose and we will do accordingly. हम उसके accordingly काम कर लेंगे. So that's why from every meridian we are selecting the 5 points. प्रत्येक मेरिडियन में से हम 5 बिंदुओं का चयन कर रहे हैं. So this is the lung meridian. In the lung meridian we have selected the 5 point. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. In the each and every meridian, like the lung, large intestine, stomach, spleen, we are selecting the 5 points. Right? So when we select the 5 point, this is called the point number 1, this is called the point number 2, this is called the point number 3, this is called the point number 4, and this is called the point number 5. So let's see this chart here. I will show you one chart. So we can see this is the chart of the 60 transporting point. So in the lung, we have selected the 5.1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the large intestine also we have selected the 5 point. In every meridian we have selected the 5 point and they become total 60 in number. They are called 60 transporting point or 60 command point. We can do lots of treatment just by using these command point. हम इनका प्रयोग करके बहुत सारा ट्रीटमेंट कर सकते हैं. So these all are called point number 1. Then this is called the point number 2, point number 3, point number 4, and the point number 5. Right? We have to remember the point number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? Why we have to remember? Because the point number 1 start from tips of finger or tip of toes. हमारे point number 1 हमारे finger के tip से या toes के tip से start होता है. Suppose if I'm talking about the hand, then the point number 1 will be starting with the tip of the fingers. Maybe from here, here, somewhere. And point number last will be ending on the elbow. The 5th number point will be reaching till the elbow. So the first number point and the 5th number point, all the other point will be in between. बाकी सारे points बीच में होंगे. If we talk about the feet, same formula for the feet. If we talk about the feet, suppose this is the feet. The point number 1 will be starting from the tip of the toes. And the point number 5 will be in the knee joint. All the point at 2, 3, 4 in between. This is the sequence. So in this way, we are selecting the point from fingertips to elbow or toes tip to knee. We are selecting 5 points and we can do the entire treatment just by these 5 points. हम इन 5 बिंदुओं की मदद से सारा ट्रीटमेंट कर सकते हैं because we already know with the 1 point we can increase or decrease the wood. With the second point we can increase or decrease the fire. With another point we can increase or decrease the earth element, metal element and the water element. That's why now we can do anything. We can increase the heat, decrease the heat, increase the coldness, decrease the coldness. जब भी हम बीमारियों की बात करते हैं, बीमारियों का मतलब क्या होता है? बीमारियों का मतलब यही तो होता है कि डैम्पनेस बढ़ गई, विंड बढ़ गया, the excessive wind, excessive dampness, excessive heat. This is the meaning of disease, right? So now this point is having very special characteristic when the point is start. So this is the starting of the journey. So the point number 1. The point number 1. So the point number 1 is called Bale point. Bale. Bale means कुआ. Bale का मतलब होता है कुआ. We can imagine this is the ये एक पहाड़ी है. This is the hill. And on the hill we are having one bale here. यहाँ पर एक पहाड़ी के ऊपर एक कुआ बना है यहाँ पर. Right. So the first point will be the bale point. Kua. Now, when the water start flowing from this, if the water is start flowing this point, then water is falling down. Water is falling down and it is becoming like a spring. तो ये स्प्रिंग जैसा बन जाता है, झरने का निर्माण कर लेता है. So the second point is called spring point. The first point is called bale point, and the second point is called spring point. Means when the point on the fingertips or the toes tip, it will be the bale point, and if you go little ahead, it will become spring. कुएं में से पानी निकला और उसने झरने का निर्माण कर लिया. Now this water is falling down the floor, then it is becoming like a stream. ये धारा का रूप ले लिया, so it is becoming a stream. So the third point is called stream point. स्ट्रीम का मतलब होता है धारा, पानी की धारा, एक शांत रूप से बहने वाली पानी की धारा. So this is called stream point. So the third number point is called stream point. So there are many stream uniting here. कई अलग अलग जाने आने जगह से आने वाली streams when they unite. Or we can understand the stream is becoming bigger. जब ये धारा एक बड़ा रूप ले लेती है, धारा बड़ी हो जाती है, तब हम कहते हैं नदी बन गई. छोटी सी धारा नदी में कन्वर्ट हो गई. द स्ट्रीम हैज कन्वर्टेड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ रिवर. सो द फोर्थ पॉइंट इज कॉल्ड रिवर पॉइंट. एंड फाइनली रिवर इज मीटिंग विद द ओशियन. लास्ट में रिवर समुद्र में जाकर मिल जाती है. सो द लास्ट पॉइंट इज कॉल्ड ओशियन पॉइंट और द सी पॉइंट. सी पॉइंट. So the first point is called bale point. The second point is called spring point. Third point is called stream point. Fourth point is the river point. And the fifth point is the ocean point or the sea point. So the first point will be on the fingertips or the toes tip. The last point will be on the elbow or the knee. तो पहला बिंदु fingertips पर होगा और आखिरी बिंदु elbow के पास होगा. Now, if we talk about the bale is a small place. If you talk about the ocean is very, very vast. अगर हम एक कुएं की बात करें, कुएं का जगह थोड़ा होता है, लेकिन ओशियन में बहुत विशालता होती है. So when we talk about the sea point or the river point, sea point and the river point has been considered as a point having very vast energy or the vast chi. So whenever we are activating the fourth number point and the fifth number point of the any meridian, they are having vast chi. For example, if we talk about the lungs, अगर हम lungs की बात करें, so this is the first number point, bale point. The second number point is spring point. The third number point is stream point. The fourth number point, river point, and the fifth number point is sea point, lung 8 and lung 5. These 2 points having very vast energy, a tremendous amount of the energies. इन दोनों के को जब हम स्टिमुलेट करते हैं तो उस मेरिडियन में बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में ऊर्जा का प्रवाह को हम छेड़ते हैं. We are touching the very vast energies. So these 2 points are having very vast energy. So the fourth number point is all the meridian having vast energy. The highest energy is found on the He-See point. Okay. So in this way, the first point is bale point. The bale is very, very small. So in the very small space, there's a very, very small space of bale. In the small space, there are too much energies, too much water stored in the very high concentration, like a spring. We can't, okay, इसे समझ सकते हैं कि जैसे मान लो आपने एक स्प्रिंग को दबाया ऐसे, you are pressing the spring. Now, spring want to suddenly come back like this. So on the Jingwell point, on the fingertips point, energy is like that. If you breathe the Jingwell point, suddenly lots of energy is coming out. In the very small space, too much energy is stored in very highly concentrated form on the Jingwell point. That's why we are stimulating the Jingwell point in the medical emergencies. Some medical emergency, we bleed the Jingwell point. Suddenly, there is a flush of the energies. एकदम से energies का flush हो जाएगा. We can understand in this way. Touching the first point or the Jingwell point means the flush of energy, flush of energy, flush of chi. The highest amount of the energy is stored in the very small place. Now, so this was the first point, bail point. We are using during the emergency, right? Then the second point is spring point. Then the third point will be stream. Then the fourth is river, and the fifth is sea point. The stream point is the third number point. हमारा स्ट्रीम पॉइंट तीसरे नंबर का पॉइंट है. इसके दो पहले और इसके दो बाद हैं. The 2 point we can see before the stream point and 2 point we can see after the stream point. Stream point is exactly in the center. So that's why if we stimulate the stream point, it can balance the entire meridian. It will balance all the points before the stream point. It can balance all the point after the stream point. So the third number point or the stream point can balance entire meridian. For example, here. So this is the first number point. This is the second number point. This is the third number point. This is the fourth and the fifth. So the third number point is having that capability, can balance the entire meridian. Lung 9 will balance the entire lung meridian. Li3 can balance the entire large intestine meridian. Stomach 43 स्टमक में होने वाली किसी भी प्रॉब्लम को ठीक कर सकता है. Spleen 3, heart 3, they can work on the any problem of the spleen and heart. So these third number point can balance entire meridian. They are called stream point. अगर किसी को दर्द हो रहा है, किस रास्ते में दर्द हो रहा है, देख लो कौन सा मेरिडियन जाता है वहां से, उसी मेरिडियन का तीसरे नंबर का पॉइंट लगा दो. फाइंड आउट द मेरिडियन. इफ समवन इज हैविंग पेन, फाइंड आउट व्हिच मेरिडियन क्रॉसिंग दैट एरिया. Put the third number point of the stream point. We can see the quick result. So in this way, the first point for emergency, पहला बिंदु इमरजेंसी के लिए. Third number point for balancing entire meridian. And the fourth and fifth number point having vast amount of the energy. Right. In this way, the second point or the spring point. The spring point are the very good point. They can balance the heat. ये गर्मी को balance करते हैं. They can expel the heat. They can balance the heat. Right. So the second number point we are using for heat purpose. Okay. So now, in the Chinese language, they have told this number one bail point, number two spring point, number three stream point, number four river point, and number four sea point. So Chinese, they are telling Jing bail, the point found on the fingertips and the toes tip, then Ying spring, then Su stream, then the Jing river, and the Hisi. They are the name, Chinese name, the meaning are same. ये इनके Chinese name है. right? So the same name written here, if you see here, the lung 11, the Jing whale point, then the Ying spring, Su stream, Jing river under the Hisi. So all the point on the fingertips are Jing whale, right? So in this way, we have to understand the characteristic of all the points. Now regarding the last point, they are having tremendous amount of the energies we already understood. Okay. So now the Jingwell points are the point. Jingwell point. Mostly we are using them for revival. Just I told you, जहां पर बहुत ज्यादा मात्रा में ऊर्जा स्प्रिंग की तरह दबी पड़ी रहती है. If you prick, the great amount of the energies will be flushing out. The second point I told you, Ying spring, we are using for the heat, like in the fever condition. The second point, just I told you, the spring point we are using for the heat condition or the febrile condition. अगर किसी को fever है, heat in the liver 2, heat in the gallbladder 43. In this way, heat in the urinary bladder, UV66. So the second point is Yin spring point is very good point. They will clear the heat and we are using them in the febrile condition. Fever की condition में हम use कर सकते हैं. And the third number point I told you can balance entire meridian. So we are using for most of all the painful condition. So if anyone is suffering with any pain, heaviness in the body, find out which meridian is passing through this point. वहां से कौन सा मेरिडियन निकल रहा है और उस मेरिडियन का तीसरे नंबर का पॉइंट दबा दो. So the two stream points are the point we will find out which meridian is passing through and we can use them for the heaviness and the pain, right? Now the last 2 points I already told you, they are having great amount of the energies, right? इन दोनों का प्रयोग हम बहुत ज्यादा मात्रा में ऊर्जा वाली कंडीशन में करते हैं. But here it's clearly mentioned we are using the fourth number point, Jing river. हम चौथे नंबर के पॉइंट का प्रयोग मुख्य रूप से कई चीजों में करते हैं, लाइक कफ अस्थमा एंड बॉयज चेंजेस. Cough, asthma, and voice changes. So this is the fourth number point, lung 8. And there are many other points we are using for, especially they are having great amount of the energy, right? And the last point is we are using for multiple conditions, including digestion. They are having great amount of the energies. We will be learning the protocol very, very soon. Now, very important thing here. Yin Yang always couple. Yin Yang is always couple. So do your hand like this. आपका हाथ ऐसे करिए. Do the hand like this. Okay. So if the fingertips are like a magnets, हमारी fingertips magnet की तरह होती हैं. So like suppose if we talk about the males, right hand. We are talking about the right hand in the males. This is the north pole. The index finger tip is the north pole in the male, right? But in the female, it's opposite. In the female, it's the south pole. Okay. So let's talk about the male. In the male, the tip of the finger is like a north pole. That's why we can also heal we can tonify by this index finger. If you want to tonify some point, you can tonify by the index finger. If female want to tonify, can use left hand, index finger. Okay. Let's come back to the male. Because just opposite to male will be female. So understand one thing, So now this is North Pole index finger. Now sequence north, south, north, south, exactly the same sequence. Suppose this is the north, this is south. Again, this is north, south, north, south. After the north, only south can come. There is an energy rule कि नॉर्थ के पास साउथ आएगा, साउथ के पास नॉर्थ आएगा, बिकॉज नॉर्थ एंड नॉर्थ में तो आकर्षण नहीं होगा, दे विल बी अपोजिट फोर, मीन्स north and south will be getting attracted toward each other. So that's why when we do namaskar mudra, right index finger is north for male, then the left index finger will be south. So when we do like this, so let's suppose like this. So right is north, left is south. So there is a complete circuit. Okay. In the female, just opposite. In the male, this is north, this is south. Now we are doing Namaskar Mudra. Exactly, we are making a perfect circuit. हम एक पूरे सर्किट का निर्माण करते हैं, right? In the same way, when we talk about the yin yang, जब हम yin yang की बात करते हैं, there is a very wonderful formation of the circuit here. Suppose मुझे पता चल गया कि मुझे ये lung 11 है. I know this is the lung 11. I want to tonify. I just can keep my tip of the index finger here and I can do the tonification of lung 11. Okay, I want to sedate it. Okay, I can use thumb for sedating because this is south pole. Okay, or I can take the middle finger, this is the south pole. So this is about the lung 11. Now let's talk about the lung 10. So with the north pole, I can tonify, and with the south pole, I can sedate. So we can tonify and sedate all the points just by using fingertips. हम सारे पॉइंट को टोन और सेडेट कर सकते हैं सिर्फ और सिर्फ फिंगर टिप के माध्यम से, राइट? It's clear? Are you able to understand the concept of north and south pole? Concept of north and south pole. It's a very beautiful concept. You just keep your hand, you just keep your tip of the finger with the intention what you are doing, and you can do just by the fingers. That's the beauty of this intention method, right? Fine. So I hope this is clear. Accordingly, so there are total 60 transporting point chart here. ये हमारे 60 transporting point का chart है. In every meridian, you can see we have taken the 5 points. And we can tonify and sedate them just by using our fingertips. इसके बारे में हमने बहुत ही डिटेल में अध्ययन किया है हमारे 60 ट्रांसपोर्टिंग पॉइंट के कोर्स में, जो यूट्यूब पर है अवेलेबल. देयर आर 15 वीडियोस एंड वी हैव डिस्कस्ड. हाउ मेनी पर्सन सीन दैट कोर्स? देखा है? ओके. very detailed description of the 60 transporting point is already given on the YouTube in the 15 videos, very detailed descriptions. So we will discuss some part here, but if you want to go with a very deeper detail, you see the all 15 videos already available on the YouTube. So tomorrow we will also discuss about the 60 transporting points. And tomorrow also we'll discuss how to make the treatment protocol using the 60 transporting points. There are certain rules for making the treatment protocol and we'll proceed ahead. So enough for today. आज के लिए इतना काफी है. अब हम मिलेंगे कल. Thank you so much. Okay, let's close the session.